Okay.
So, if you put it into speaker mode, then no, you can go ahead and go. Read it slowly though, like I said.
Okay. The wrongful termination and retaliation lawsuit I filed against the Brown administration is separate and apart from the federal investigation launched against the city of Buffalo. I did not approach or contact any external organization outside of my attorney's office about anything city related, nor was I aware of an active investigation when my wrongful termination occurred. I was not the whistleblower. I was, however, one of those who was eventually interviewed by the federal government. It was at that time and not before that I truthfully responded to the line of questioning as presented. Many find it hard to understand the differences in roles and responsibilities between the City of Buffalo Office of Strategic Planning, which is OSP, and the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency, also known as BURA. BURA is an impressive agency with amazing and hardworking employees dedicated to serving the community and meeting the needs of its residents and businesses. But ultimately, BURA decisions and directives are controlled and executed by the Mayor's Office of Strategic Planning. When matters of an urgent nature come into question or go awry, Bureau employees are unfairly targeted and must provide explanations for decisions made by the Mayor's Office of Strategic Planning. As it relates to my lawsuit, the City of Buffalo was deemed a high-risk grantee by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, and had been out of regulatory compliance for many years. I was hired as Executive Director for Bureau on September 8, 2015. As a civil servant, it is important to operate with integrity and full transparency and to follow proper protocol and regulations. It was my desire to address the many findings and concerns identified by HUD and turn things around, but I was met with resistance by members of the Brown administration. Instead of addressing HUD's concerns and other city issues properly, these cabinet members developed creative ways to manipulate individuals, circumstances, and situations by unethically usurping their power, their position, their authority to accomplish their own agendas and desired results in the areas of real estate development, conflicts of interest, checks and balances between OSP and Bureau, and fiduciary responsibilities. I spoke out against these fraudulent behaviors to Brendan Mahaffey, Director of OSP, and Donna Estridge. She was formerly the Commissioner of Administration and Finance. I did not contact the federal government. I expressed only to the city that their approaches and processes were negatively and directly impacting the most vulnerable populations within our community. Our standing with HUD was being jeopardized, as well as the reputation of the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency. I stated to them, it's time out for using Bureau as a cover-up for all of the city's wrongdoing. On September 27, 2018, Brendan Mahaffey and Donna Estridge invited me to a meeting in which I was harassed and threatened. I was told that because I disagreed with their way of doing things and because I believed that corruption existed, they will be making a decision about my future with the agency. On October 5th, 2018, Brendan Mahaffey, who was also vice chair of the Bureau board, and Deputy Mayor Betsy Ball, a non-Bureau board member, retaliated against me without the board's knowledge by firing me from my position of executive director for the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency. They deactivated all of my credentials, locked me out of my office, and banned me from City Hall. Almost got emotional just then, had a flashback. Banned me from City Hall. On November 19th, 2019, I filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against the City of Buffalo. The lawsuit and supporting documentation that was submitted was not about the corruption that exists. It was to support why I was fired. I just happened to speak out, unbeknownst to me, during a time of an active investigation. It has been said that I dropped my lawsuit because the federal investigation found no wrongdoing by the Brown administration. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I was just in the middle of living a peaceful life. I cannot speak to or about anything related to the federal investigation because it's not mine to own. I have no insight into what the federal government was looking for, nor do I know how it all began or by whom. But what I can say of certainty is everything that I have stated in my lawsuit is absolutely true. I will forever stand by the details of it, not only for myself, but for the underserved, the disenfranchised, and for those whose stories have not yet been told.
Okay, thank you, Nona.
You're welcome.
Okay, Harvey, so I can